CINEMANIACS Palm Review. Hello YouTube, CinemaMan here, and because of the fact that I am off school from now until the 28th of February, we decided to celebrate my half-term breakup by going to the Larry Outlet Mall. And we were originally planning on going to the Blackpool meets Trafford fair ground that's taking place at Old Trafford Cricket Grounds, but due to health and safety reasons the school decided not to let us go. So instead we went and seen Paul, the new science fiction ensemble comedy movie, written by and starring Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. The plot follows Graeme, Willy and Clive Gollings, played by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who, after visiting the San Diego Comic-Con, decide to go on a road trip in the Traveller Beagle, which is their RV, to look at the top alien extraterrestrial sites in America. And while they're at the black mailbox, they come across an alien named Paul, voiced by Seth Rogen. And their main objective is to get Paul back to his spaceship, while Paul is being pursued by Agent Zoyle, played by Jason Bateman, Agent Haggard, played by Bill Hader, and another, and Neil Hamburger, played by Greg Turkington. And basically along the way they come across a couple of situations, like before they spot the alien, they're at like this alien themed hotel in Nevada, and they meet a couple of rednecks who, whilst leaving, actually crash into their car. And they were arrogant, so, you know, I'm on their side. And also Graham, played by Simon Pegg, falls in love with Ruth Boggs, played by Kristen Wiig, who is sort of, you know, a Christian. She's kind of religious, you know, and is shocked when she first meets Paul, as, you know, there's this whole thing about a war about how, you know, sort of blasphemy, you know, about, like, is it science, is it religion, you know, what made the world. And she kind of, like, you know, she's kind of set free from that whole thing, and she spends, like, most of the movie cursing her bum off, just cursing and cursing away, you know, effing and jeffing. And the first thing I like is, like, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, they are a good team, you know, from all the other movies like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Shaun of the Dead I didn't really like that much. It was an okay film, but Hot Fuzz was brilliant. But I think Paul just beats that lot. You know, a 5 out of 5. You know, a full 5. And there are a couple of things, like, you know, Seth Rogen, he is known for playing like the kind of pot-smoking, you know, slacker who doesn't give a crap about anyone but himself. And he plays it so wonderfully that when he starts swearing, it's actually kind of funny. Like, there's a scene where he's in a comic book shop and he's dressed as a cowboy, and one of the agents comes in, so he pretends to be kind of a like one of those cardboard cutouts, and the agent is suspicious as he's like sweating from the head out of fear, and it actually goes down like through his leg, and Seth Rogen's like, get the hell off me. I actually laughed out loud at that bit. It was just so funny, you know. And of course there's actually some funny scenes, like with Christian Wiig's character in this movie. It is being pursued by her dad, who assumes that Graeme and Clive had kidnapped her. Of course, the father is played by John Carroll Lynch, who is Officer McPherson in Shutter Island. And I actually think, you know, this is kind of funny. I like road movies because they sort of show the true beauty of America. And there's actually one thing about Jason Bateman's performance. And Jason Bateman, he's like actually pretty scary in some scenes. You know, he tells people, he's like pursuing Paul, so he's kind of telling other officers to like stay back, you know, go home. And of course he has minor conversations with Sigourney Weaver's character, who then shows up in the end sort of dressed up as she was going to a gala for some sort of special event for that night, but was cancelled because she had to call in for the alien. And he's sort of, you know, he wants to catch him all by himself and receive all the glory, and it's just, I think he's catching Paul for the sake of catching Paul, but then, you know, he sort of turns onto their side through the movie. I mean, I just didn't really get that point, as he was really the, you know, main antagonist. I can't really think why he had to like turn good. And from a movie directed by Greg Mottola, who directed, of course, Superbad and Adventureland, this got to be hilarious. Of course, Bill Hader's in it, who is he's kind of a regular on Greg Mottola's movies, who's in Superbad and Adventureland. And there's like the other officer who's like mad about comics, and Jeffrey Tambor, he has a minor role as Adam Shadowchild, who is like, he's only seen in the Comic-Con scenes, and he is actually pretty, you know, you don't care about the fans. And, you know, because it's set in America, it's like, I actually like movies like road movies. There's RV. RV was, you know, it was good. And, you know, Seth Rogen, you know, he's actually fantastic at the role. I think the only recent thing except this that I've heard he was in was the Green Hornet, and I've not seen the Green Hornet yet, but I've actually seen a couple of alright trailers at the beginning of this. I saw one for Fast 5, which is the fifth, you know, the fifth film in the Fast and the Furious franchise, and there's of course Battle Los Angeles, and the Liam Neeson movie Unknown. And the screen was like that, kind of that wide, you know, kind of like that wide. When the movie came on, it just sort of expanded, because it was like filmed in anamorphic, so it kind of had to be, you know, stretched a bit. And I actually thought, you know, this was actually way better than Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. And it has a couple of things like it. I've read many reviews, and they say that the jokes are sometimes, you know, they're aimed at the geeks. Not all jokes are aimed at the geeks. There's also reveal Agent Zoil, played by Jason Bateman. His first name is Lorenzo, i.e. Lorenzo's Oil. And of course, there's a reference to the rape scene in Deliverance. And you know, there's also like some a reference to like the scene where Clive and Graeme are referencing the episode in Star Trek where Kirk is fighting this monster and he kind of defeats him by slamming a rock over his head, which I thought was really funny. You know, this is just, it's gotta be laugh out loud perfect. There's also a subplot line involving, you know, Paul, who at the beginning his spaceship landed in 1947 and killed a dog which belonged to this one little girl who he ruined his life by killing a dog, and everyone thinks she's crazy because she told him about the aliens, who is played by Blythe Danner from the Fockers trilogy, the Meet the Parents trilogy. And this has got to be, you know, this is, I have to say, before I give this a rating, I give it 5 out of 5. Also, this is not a for some people, this is not a movie that's being represented in the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy. This is not a sequel to Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz, or a spiritual sequel represented in the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy. So, you know, the third film in the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, which is The World's End, and that, I don't think that's even came out yet. But anyway, I'll give this a 5 out of 5. It is brilliant. Go see it. Cinema Man signing out. See you later.